So, do you ever just feel like your life is kind of hollow or lacks meaning? Well, today we're going to talk about how to create meaning in your life and really live the life that you love. Oftentimes in life, when we are faced with problems or challenges, the solution to the problem is more about how we see the problem or our thoughts and beliefs about the problem. Well, today we're going to talk about how to create more meaning in our lives. So first we need to look at and determine, well, where does meaning come from? Where does value come from? Well, we live in a society that is a very consumer-oriented society. So we are conditioned from a young age to believe that the way to achieve happiness or meaning is by accumulating things. So having stuff, having nice stuff. Maybe it has to do with reaching a certain level or position in our employment. It may have to do with what do other people think about us. So all of those things are external in nature, and it's all about consumption. So think about this. If we compare meaning or the way in which we live our life, what we do with our life, are we actually living a life of production or are we living a life of consumption? If we were to kind of compare this to money, because oftentimes in life we feel like if we had more money, then our life would be better, because if we have more money, then we can use that money to purchase other things or activities, events, and those things will give us happiness or meaning. The thing is, in life with money, if we spend our money, if we consume our money, depending on what we spend it on, it may be that after we spent the money, we have nothing to show for it. Maybe we spend it on food and we consume the food and now the money is gone and the food is gone. Maybe we spend it on things, on clothes, on whatever it is, and in the short term it gave us a feeling of satisfaction, a feeling of happiness, but no real meaning. Well, what if instead of seeing money as a tool to purchase things and to buy happiness and meaning, what if we saw money as a tool to reinvest and to create more money? Now, let's just talk about money for a second. If we understand money for what it truly is, we know that money doesn't exist. The money is a concept or an idea that represents value or value created in our society. So we take value, take money, and we use it to go out and create more value and produce more. So it's not about consuming, it's about using it in a way to produce more. Well, what if that's the way that we lived our life? Instead of being in that selfish place of, I want more meaning in my life, I want to be successful, I want to be more happy. You know, Viktor Frankl, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, said about happiness that happiness cannot be pursued, that it's kind of a byproduct. That by living a life of meaning, a life of service, the byproduct or outcome of that is happiness. So sometimes we just have it backwards. We're seeking for happiness, hoping that it will give us what we want out of life, which is fulfillment and meaning, when in reality, maybe what we need to do is look at what can we do of value that will provide more value for others in the world in which we live. Now, here's the cool thing, is that each one of us is unique and individual. There is no one exactly like you in the world, which means there are things that you can do in a way that nobody else can do them. Sometimes we're so busy trying to fit in and be like everybody else so that we can be okay, because if others think we're okay, then we must be okay, right? No, it's not right. So what we need to do is figure out who we are. So maybe we need to begin to look inside for a while. Quit worrying so much about what other people think and what other people say, and start looking at ourselves and figuring out who we really are and seeing the amazing individuals that we are. So what are the talents and abilities that you have? What are your unique strengths? What is it that you enjoy doing, that you love doing? What is it that you can do in a way that nobody else can do it? And then figure out how to take that knowledge, those skills, those abilities, and go out and create and produce value for others in the world. As you do this, you will find meaning. And not only will you find meaning, but you will find happiness, and your life will be amazing. So the way to find meaning in this life is start to look inside, accept yourself for who you are, love yourself, and then use your unique strengths, talents, and abilities, and find a way to go out and bless the lives of others. That's where true meaning comes from. So thanks for joining us today. I hope you can take this information and go out and change the world. Be your true self and make the world a better place. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe to our channel and visit our website. You'll see it listed below.